the items that you're going to need for the project. You're definitely going to need scissors, you're going to need paper, you're going to need a pencil. I am actually going to use a magic marker so that you can see it, and a ruler would be helpful. And we talked about rolled paper. I had a roll of paper around here somewhere, but I don't see it now. So I do have rolled paper is what I'm using, or you could use a paper bag. So, and then you're going to need an existing legging, okay, piece. So what I need you to do is take your leggings, your existing leggings that you have, and you're just going to fold them in two, just like that. So you're just going to lay those leggings right on the edge of that paper. And we're going to pretend that this is the fold of the paper. And that's exactly what it's going to be. We're going to make this the fold, because the outer leg of these leggings is on the fold. So, and we're just going to need to cut two pieces. So then you just kind of want to take your pencil and you want to just kind of trace all the way around those leggings, just like that. Just do a nice trace. And you don't want to move it. If you can avoid it, don't. But you want to press your seam down, just like so. And you just kind of want to go all the way around that legging, just like that. And I can still see that seam there. So you just kind of want to come just about like that, because we're going to serge it. So this is the way you kind of want to mark it. Now, all the way down. Now I'm going to use that magic marker so that you can see the print, or what I have here, what I actually have drawn here. So that's why I'm going to use that magic marker, just so you can see the pattern. Okay? Doesn't have to be super neat, but you do want to try to keep it as straight as possible. I usually use a ruler to kind of help me along. So, and then you want to add with that ruler. I wish I had a smaller ruler here handy, but I don't. With that ruler, you want to add 2 inches at the top here. Just kind of do your 2-inch marking here and here, and probably a 1 inch at the bottom. Oops, that ruler really wants to be silly. So we're going to just do 1 inch, and that would be for the hem turnover and the elastic turnover at the top. That 2 inches is for the elastic turnover at the top, or the waistband turnover. And so that is your pattern. Definitely got to have a ruler or something to hold that paper down, but that's your pattern. Hopefully you can see what I just drew there. So basically that is the pattern for this, for your leggings. Okay, so we need to go ahead on and cut our pattern piece out here. Go ahead on and cut it out, our pattern piece. And I just might as well go on and cut it right on the line there. It's fine. You can, when we cut, I'll show you how to cut here. So just might as well just go ahead and cut it all out. And then we'll just put that baggage over there. And bring out our fabric that we're going to use. She has a knitted fabric for leggings here. Nice stretchy knitted fabric. So we're going to fold our fabric out like this, with just so enough that your pattern piece can lay on the fold. That way I think we kind of save. So we're just going to lay it where we have enough on the fold like that, where it'll sit on the fold. And then we'll turn that other side the same way. So it's kind of like 2 doors or something, the way we're going to fold it over. Like having 2 doors. So that way, because we want both pieces to be on the fold. So, and we do need to cut 2 of the same piece. So then we'll just lay it out on the fabric, and begin to cut. Okay, so we are ready to cut. Now we're ready to cut pattern piece number 1. And so you have it on the fold, as I mentioned. You got it sitting right on the fold, guys. It's got to be on the fold. Don't do anything different. You'd probably mess up if you didn't have it on the fold. So anyway, now I got it pinned, and I am going to go ahead on and commence to cutting out that first piece. As you notice, I have just the right amount of fabric for this, so I really did guess at it pretty good there. So this is going to be my first piece. So this is probably going to be number piece, the back piece. Okay. All right. And finish this off. I'll do it just a little bit higher up. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, so done with the first piece. Time to do the second piece. Okay, so it's time to cut that second piece out. So we'll pin. As you can see, I have it placed on the fold. This is the fold line. It's a little bit different since I'm doing it, kind of doing it a little bit. I'm still putting it on the fold, but just kind of putting it at the very end for my fabric because I actually got exactly what I needed when I got the fabric. Isn't that amazing? Sometimes you can get exactly what you need. So you just want to go and put it on the fold, just like the back like that. Want to make sure you have it laying on the fold. That side seam there, the side, it's nice. And you want to make sure it's nice and flat, even. So I have it on the fold. Now it's just time to do a quick cutout on this one, this piece. Okay. I've got quite a bit of fabric still left over here on the side of the table. But it will be just good. You might need it for something else. Sometimes I like to save scrap fabric for crafty things. I don't know, just maybe you can even make a pair of shorts, a legging shorts out of the other side. You just never know. If you have enough, you might. So I usually save most of my fabric. If it's big pieces, like I'll probably have after we're done here. Okay, and here, just right at the top for our fold over. And we're done. So now, why don't we just go ahead on and take our pins out like we did the last one. And now with right size, these are our two pieces of pad materials, which is nice. How about that? I know mine is kind of a little bit uneven in certain places. But then what you want to do is take your fabric and or your pattern pieces, and you want to lay it, open it up, both pieces, and you want to lay them on each other, right sides together. So you just want to lay them, typically, like I mentioned once before, and I suppose I'll do it again and again, is the right side, the inside of the fabric is typically the right side of the fabric. So you just want to pin it in place with right sides together. And so that's both front, the front seam and the back seam. And just like so. And then we're going to get ready to serge those two together. And you can kind of see it coming together already. We're going to serge these two pieces together all the way down and on the other side. And then we'll come back and we'll pin up this, the inside seam. See how easy that's going to come together? You can see it already. Pretty cool, huh? A pair of leggings. Hello. Just going to be happy. Okay, so we're just going to serge right along the back edge or the front edge. I'm not sure which edge it is, but we're just going to serge it. You want to remove your pins as you go. And you also want to make sure you can see the bottom piece right up underneath the top piece. You always got to make sure you're seeing that bottom piece. I have been known not to because it's so close. the serging is so close that I've been known not to actually catch the bottom piece because it slid or something. So that's one side. And I don't have my little scissors. I like to use those little ones. And you want to cut your strings. And then you want to do the front side, or whichever one it was that we did not do. Start on that other side. And like I said, you just want to kind of make sure you see both pieces together so that you don't, I'm holding this in here, so that you make sure you're catching all of the fabric, the bottom portion. And you're removing your pins as you go. Just still kind of putting those together, having fun with it, playing a little dinner music while we have fun. How about that? Now, we got those two, the back, the front and the back together. Now we're going to do the legs. So as you can kind of see, you want to kind of pin. I don't necessarily have to, but you can do it so that you keep it nice and even. You can always already have it pinned, but I just put one pin there at the bottom. And so I'm just going to kind of work it and make sure that they stay together. Okay. So we're just doing the leg portion right now. Looks like it's pretty good, the stitching, from where that one came from. It's red, I guess. I'm always sewing, so there's no telling where that came from. Feels so good to be creative. We need to make up a song, you guys. Almost done. So I'm not sure which portion I need to do, but I think I'm just going to go ahead on and close and serge it. So I was going to kind of cut that front off at the front. I think it's okay. So we're just going to go right on through and serge it. If she has a problem with it, I know what the problem is. So all I have to do is kind of take it in. Almost done. Make sure you got that bottom piece in sight. Moving pins as you go. You don't want to break your serging needle, that's for sure. Okay, so we're all done with that, and then we're going to just do our hemming, and we're going to put our elastic around there next. Okay? Okay, so next, my dear sewing family, you are going to need 2 inches of knit elastic. And if your pants is black, I would prefer, or I would suggest, black elastic so that it kind of blends in. So what you want to do is open up your elastic, and you want to measure exactly the same size as your existing pants. Just lay it right next to those existing pants, and then take it and roll that over, because you want to double it, because you're going to need some for the other side also. So you want to kind of double that, and then you want to give yourself just about maybe a half an inch more, just so that you're able to wrap that together. So we'll sew it down together about like that, so it'll kind of overlap like that. So anyway, and then we're going to just go ahead on, and we're going to take that elastic, and we're going to put it in our newly made pair of pants, and we're going to put it right on the edge, and we're going to just serge it right along that edge. It will go on the inside. Excuse me, guys. We want it to go on the inside of the waist, and then we'll turn it over like that and sew it down. So that's the way it should go, and that's kind of the way it will look when we get done. So just kind of follow along with me, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so using your straight stitch sewing machine, go ahead and overlap your elastic about a half of an inch overlapped, and just sew it down. Just like that. Maybe back stitch it all the way back. That's fine. And then you're done with that part. Okay, so then you want to take that same elastic and just kind of bring it over your waistband area, the top of your waistband. And once you have that over the top of your waistband, probably just pin it in place so that it will stay in place, because you're going to need to kind of stretch it a little bit as we go, as you can see. So then, because I have a serger and I love my serger and I love finished edges, I am going to serge mine in. And I am going to stretch it as I go. So I have turned over my waist. As you can see, it's been turned over, and I actually stitched it on top. So that's the elastic that's stitched on top. However, I am going to stitch my elastic. Let's just turn that around over, and I want to just take and stitch my elastic just like that, kind of stretching it all the way around on top so that I'm getting an even consistency with the stitching. And so look at this. I found that you can just take that, you can take your waistband and just kind of slip it all the way around your serger. If you have a serger like this one, you're able to get that entire waistband around your serger. Just like that. I think that is just super nice. So, ooh, that's a nice advantage to having a serger just like this. I don't know if all of them are like that or not, but this one is certainly nice. I see. So then you want to get it in line, and let's put that presser foot down. And once I get it in line, I want to begin to serge around. Just make sure you got your fabric and your elastic. You want to make sure you have both the fabric and the elastic. And it's okay for it to cut a little bit of that fabric off. So it might take a little work to do it, but you can do it. I have total faith in you that you can do it. But look how easy it is with that serger. Just continue to serge yours all the way around, and then I'll show you what our next step is. Okay, so now we're ready to do the top stitch down. As you notice, I have removed my arm from my machine here. It was an arm on there, and I just removed that so it'd be freer. I added some tape, which is just a masking tape at the end, so that I'll know where to stop my waist. Like right there, I know when my waistband hit that tape, that's where I want to sew at, all the way around. So let me see, I think I'm going to start at a certain point, which will probably, I don't want to start at the front. I think I'll start at the side of it, like about right over here. And so you just want your tape to hit that part right here. You want them to meet together there, and that's where you're going to start sewing. Okay, so again, that masking tape is pretty important. So now I'm just going to give it a gentle pull, and I'll commence to sewing. I just want to make sure I get over that knot there, that seam. And you want to give it a gentle pull so that your gatherings is going to be even. You want to make sure your gathers are even all the way around. Again, you want to make sure the top is up here right next to. You want to make sure those gathers are nice and even too. So it's important to kind of just work it out, work it away, or work it in. But anyway, like I said, my fellow scholars, sewing seamstress scholars, if you have a better way of doing this, and I know that you do, this is, like I said, this is just not my favorite part of sewing, is putting in elastic. Not this way anyway. So, but if you have a better way of doing it, show us how. Please let us know. So we would appreciate any comments that you can give, any kind of suggestions and helpful tips that you can give it to putting the elastic in a waistband like this without making the casing. I don't want to do a casing, so I kind of like it like this. So I'll probably take this part off, the top stitching that I've done at the top, but that's the way we kind of want it to look. And that's about a 2-inch. Okay, so I have removed that basting stitch I had at the top, as you can see there, and I am going to add to this by just doing another stitch right next to the stitch that we've already done. You just want to do it probably where your presser foot is at the end of the first stitch, and just put your tape, like move that tape so that it's butted again up against the top. And you continue to stretch, and you're going to just go around that waistband again, as you can see. So that tape again, that you got the end of your waistband butted against, it really does kind of help you center and keep it straight if you don't have the type of gadget that you need on your machine to keep your garment in place and straight. So that just kind of helps you, gives you a guide as to where that stitch, where you want your stitch to be, so that there's an evenness all the way around that garment. Okay, so we want to continue to gently tug, kind of stretch it, pulling it so that you're still getting that feather consistency. See what I mean by the consistency? So that there's not so much gather in one section more than the other. So that's why I pull it like that. It kind of keeps it even. Watching your tape, and we're back all the way back around. You want to again back stitch and pull it out. You're going to cut all the strings off. Cut up all your strings. And we're done. So as you can see how nice that looks, how the evenness of the gathers, that's what I mean by the gathers having an evenness in the consistency of gathers. See how nice that is. So that's the kind of the way you want it to look. And as you notice, I did take the top off, the top stitching, which looks much better now. So it's the way you want it, your waistband to look once you're done. So when doing your hem, you need to press your hem up. Remember how important it is to iron. Iron makes it look so professional, so much more professional. So you want to turn your hem up about 1/2 of an inch, I would imagine. I think that's where we did it. I would say, well, you can turn it up an inch because I think we did it a little under an inch is what I would do, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And then you just want to take your iron and you want to press that hem right down. So we're just going to do a straight stitch on it, what you call a shirt tail hem on this garment, on this particular pair of pants. So just press your hem in. It's going to make it so much easier to put that hem in when it's nice and pressed. And you also can serge the bottom of that hem at the end of the hem if you have not serged it. Just go ahead on and serge it. Okay, so it'd be the same with your hem. Remember, we turned the hem up and pressed it in. So what you want to do is probably, you can take that tape if you'd like to, but you have it on your machine a 5/8 of a seam. So that is your 5/8 of the seam there, and you just kind of want to go around that the same way, all the way around it. That 5/8 all the way around. So that way it keeps your top stitch even, with the same consistency as with the elastic. So you've got your hem in now, and you can also serge the bottom of that before we're done, but I didn't serge it, so it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to do it either to serge it. So you can also, like I said, you can also make the bunch. So glad we're done, guys. It's time to try it on.